Okay, so welcome to the demonstration for cutting a stencil and drawing it so that we can work a little bit further on this project. What we're going to do today is I'm going to draw on here the image that I've chosen, and I'm going to show you and kind of explain to you what the drawing parts are. It's really simple, the one I'm going to do. Yours may be a little more complex. But the rules still apply. The general rules are still the same. And then I'm going to cut it out and show you how it looks and how you want it to be to prepare to transfer it to your cardboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a simple design of a circle. Okay, and I'm actually going to turn my circle into a peace sign. And remember, I asked you to do something that is kind of ironic, kind of funny, kind of contradictory. So we're going to turn it into like a little bomb, and I'll put a fuse on the top. Okay, so I'm just going to sketch in my parts here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my fuse maybe just a little bit over here. Just kind of simple thing to show what it is. I know it's hard to see this if the lights are on, but when the lights are off, you'll see it much better. And I'll make it a little darker here too. So going a little darker here. Here's my circle. Okay, so that's what I'm working with here. Now, I can't just cut along the lines. That's not going to work, because if I do that, I'm going to lose the circle and all I'll have is little slits here. So I have to make it have a little more substance. So I have to thicken this up. This is going to be maybe not quite so thick, and I'm going to stop and I'm going to leave a gap between the bottom of the fuse and the circle, because I don't want to lose this part. If I cut that out, it's not going to look quite the way I want it to. I'm going to do the same thing for all these lines. So I'm going to make them thicker, but they're not quite going to touch. They're going to be very close to touching, but they're not quite going to touch. I'm going to leave little gaps in there. Okay, so there's a gap right here, right here. There's gaps in here. There's a gap here, and here, and here. Okay, there's one there. So I put arrows where all the gaps are so you can see where I'm leaving space. Okay, so all these little spaces, there's what we call those bridges that I told you about. There's little bridges in here where I'm going to cut out this part, but I'm going to leave some space in here so that whenever I go to paint it, it doesn't fall apart, because I have to have those little bridges in there. So I'm going to make these a little thicker, and then I can start cutting. Okay, so this is going to be my piece bomb. Now when I go to start cutting, we're going to use the pen knife, and the pen knife you've used before, so you remember the rule is please do not cut towards your hand. So if you're going to cut, make sure you put your hand above where you're planning on cutting, and then cut away from your hand. So I guess I'll just kind of pick a spot and start. And I'm using cardboard underneath my stencil paper so that I don't cut the table. I do not want to cut the table. Pulling the pieces out as I go. And also keep in mind, when I do a demonstration, I'm not trying to do something that is going to take forever and waste a bunch of your time. So My design is really simple. Hopefully yours is a little bit more complex or effective or better drawn. I just kind of threw mine together, and you see my lines aren't perfect, and they're kind of there's another piece here. So I got the middle part cut out. Got another few stop cuts here. Okay, so I've got the main part cut out here, and then I can cut out my little pieces here. Okay, so I've got my stencil here cut out, and you can see that I've left the bridges here so that the piece, whenever I pick it up and move it around, that circle piece is not going to fall out, and it is ready to spray. And this is, if you flip it over, you can see better what it looks like without all the drawing parts on there. You don't have to worry about leaving all the sketchy drawing parts on there, because when you go to stipple this or spray it or whatever you're going to do with it, it is not going to, you'll not see the drawing part, obviously.